Obviously we're looking forward to getting out there and competing in what I think is the best rivalry in all of college basketball against Cincinnati. Being a part of the Crosstown shootout is an absolute privilege, and our guys are going to be ready, and we have to be ready. We're going to get Cincinnati's best, that's for sure. Our guys got to be ready to compete, and I told this to our guys, following the Green Bay game. I was obviously disappointed how we played, but we got to be able to turn the page very quickly. We have no time to cry over spilled milk. And the most talented team, a lot of times in this rivalry, in the Crosstown shootout, rarely wins. It's a team that's going to be the toughest team that's going to be the most together team. That's the team that usually prevails, and that has to be us on Saturday at 5 p.m.
You've prepared for a particular kind of UC team for a long time, and now John Brannon is the coach there. What kind of challenges does a Brannon-led UC team present?
They're going to be different defensively. Coach Cronin was a great coach. Coach Brannon's a great coach, just a little bit different style of play. But defensively, Coach Cronin used a lot of times a matchup zone, a lot predominantly, or switching man-to-man. So your offense set, we rarely saw that defense. That may be the only time all year that really we saw that defense. Coach Brannon will pick up full court a little bit like Coach Cronin did. They'll press a little bit, but they're going to be a hard-nosed, man-to-man defensive team, which, I think playing against teams like UConn and Missouri, teams that are kind of tough and physical, a lot like Cincinnati, will hopefully help prepare us for success against Cincinnati. But they're going to play faster than Coach Cronin's teams, that's for sure. Our transition defense has to be a heck of a lot better than it was against Green Bay, which they scored 24 points on us in transition. So we got to get back on defense. But they're going to be the same. Again, they play hard. They're physical. That's a constant, and I think Coach Brannon's doing a great job with that group.
Travis, you have 7 guys on the roster who've never experienced this before. What's that conversation like to kind of try to acclimate them, or can you even prepare them for what's about to happen in here on Saturday?
I think you could try to prepare them as much as possible, just for the environment, the energy, the emotions in the game. We're going to really rely on our older guys, the guys that have played in this game and been a part of it, especially our seniors. Tyreek and Quentin, this is their 4th shootout. Paul and Najee, this is their 3rd shootout. So got to really rely on those guys. I let those guys talk to our team, just to kind of help prepare, so some of our younger guys could hear it from them, what their experiences have been, and what they think is important. Obviously, heading into this game, because the game is a little bit different. I mean, it just is, and it's a great game, but it's also a game where, again, usually young guys, it takes them a couple minutes to get adjusted. Usually, you'll every once in a while have a freshman, like when Cumberland played when he was a freshman, he had a really good game. And I thought that was unique. Again, a lot of times freshmen aren't quite ready for this moment, but especially the first time they get in the game, usually takes 3 or 4 minutes to kind of get your rhythm and understand what this game's all about.
Travis, home court advantage has been big in this series, and I think it's obvious with the fans a little bit. But beyond that, 7 straight at Cintas, what do you think has been a major factor in that really insane stretch in this series?
It's a player's game. We've been very fortunate to have some really good players over the years. You think of all the big moments, man, whether it was Tu Holloway, Trayvon Blewett, J.P. McCure, James Farr, who was just in here a second ago. Just big shots, big plays, hustle plays, toughness plays. It's a player's game, and you can't blink. If you blink, you're going to lose. The aggressor usually wins in this game. Like last year, for example, I thought UC was a lot tougher than we were on December. I think it was December 8th. Again, they were a lot tougher than we were, and that's what wins in this game. That's what will win in this game on Saturday.
I don't think coaches like to be defined, or players for that matter, by one game. But where does this rank? Because you're viewed a certain way. If you get a team to the Final Four, if you win a couple of games in the tournament, if you win a conference tournament, where does this game rank as far as how it defines you, or how it might define you as a head coach if you win or lose?
I don't know, Jeremy, all about that, but I do know, obviously we want to represent Xavier Nation, our former players, the right way, and they take a lot of pride in this program, and whether I've gotten phone calls or text messages over the last couple days, You know, again, we want to represent those guys in the right way rather than maybe defining moment, you know, or define my career. I want to represent our former players and our Xavier's Nation and fans in the right way.
The team is staying at a hotel tonight. Is that pretty normal for a home game period or for the shootout?
You know, we've always done it for the shootout, whether we're playing at UC or here at home. Just less distracted. It seems like there's just a little extra like buzz around, and we want to keep our guys confined as best as possible.
You know, if you sort of break this game down into smaller parts, what are the most important areas that you're looking at? Obviously, you already touched on the toughness factor. You know, the tougher team's probably going to win this game. But what are kind of the other areas of play that you're looking for that you say, you know what, we need to check this box, and this box?
Yeah, I think first and foremost we have to take care of the ball, and you know that's been when we've done that we've been pretty good. When we haven't done it, we haven't been very good. You know, UC's physical. They're going to pressure you, full court, half court. They're going to try to be very disruptive. You know, they're very handsy. You know, they're always reaching at your ball, trying to block every shot. We have to be able to handle our own water and play with poise, play at our own speed. I think that's critically important. So that's number one. You know, number two, it's got to be a war on the glass. You know, last year I think they out-rebounded us by 6. I think it was 36-30. We have to be the tougher, stronger team on the glass and more disciplined team. It means we have to block out every single time. It's not just about being tougher and bigger and stronger. You got to be disciplined too. And then we got to get our guys on the offensive glass. And then I'd say third, Adams, we got to get back in transition. And I think against Lipscomb and against Green Bay, we were abysmal in transition defense, and it's got to be better. We work on that every single day, and it just starts with your mentality, sprint back, effort. Our guys know our rules.
Travis, is your full 9-man rotation available, or does the largeness of this game, is that going to limit you?
Is the what not going to limit who? Say it again, Adam.
The largeness, the import, the difference in this game?
Yeah. You know, again, we're going to play whoever's going to help us win, right? And we're going to give everybody a shot who normally plays and who earns it in practice. And again, like you can usually tell whether a guy's a little wide-eyed, has a little deer in the headlights look. Sometimes you may have to take them out, Andy, and then throw them back in the game. A lot of times, second time a kid's in the game, especially a younger guy who's never been in this game, they're a lot better the second time. You know, so but you are obviously going to rely on your older guys. But like for example, I know when we won at UC. Actually, we didn't win at UC that year. We getting Trayvon when Trayvon had 40-some points, whatever it was, and you know Q played a lot that game, and really he had not played a ton up until that point in the year. He played a little bit, small role, and Edmond got in foul trouble, if you remember, and he got thrown in there. And I think he actually had 6 assists and 2 turnovers in that game. But it took him the first couple minutes; he was a little shaky, and then the second time he got back in there, he was a lot better. So you know, we're going to try to use our normal depth as best as possible, but again, at the same time, we're going to be playing to win.
Didn't Tyreek sort of emerge in that game also? I mean,
He
I
did.
think O'Mara and those guys got in foul trouble.
He did. Yeah, Tyreek was our best big that night. You know, again, I thought he played with a lot of toughness when he was a freshman. He had some big-time finishes around the rim, big-time rebounds, again, which those things win in this game.
Bryce Moore's a 5-year guy. Jason Carter's a starter, but he's got experience. Do you expect those guys maybe to click in more quickly?
You know, I hope so. You know, they played in college basketball. I'm sure they had rivalries at their respective schools that they were at, Western Michigan and Ohio U, that they've been a part of. So I would highly anticipate that they'll be more than fine.
You talked about against Green Bay how you could almost kind of tell that it might be a rough night or a long night. When you walk into that locker room before the game tomorrow, can you describe like the look that you want to see, like what you want to see from them that will bode well?
Yeah, I want to see hungry eyes. And this game has to mean more to us than it does UC. It has to. It has to. And we have to show that for 40 minutes out on the floor, not just when things are going good for us or we banging a 3 or whatever. It's about the whole 40 minutes and laying it out there on the line, giving it all you got. And if we do that, I'll live with the results. Thanks.